Shout out BruceGas, aka Toka 2. You know I had to drop a track with my boy.
Hey, where you at?
Yeah, Kevin and harassing boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, BruceGas putting them fights on the table. Calling that boxing since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. On the people's champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out BruceGas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke with hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out of Toka 2. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the peak. Little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shout out man, Chad, real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the pan. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sand. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like BruceGas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this a fight game. Don't beef on change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
What's up, everybody? Anybody? Swoop like me, I see you in here, my sister. Peace, thank you for coming by. We're listening to Walter Weiskampf. This is the new jazz. I'm not really familiar with this stuff, but he sounds like Charlie Parker. Carlos Winton on piano, Andy Langer on the bass. I'm familiar with him. I've seen him before at this club. This is live at Smalls Jazz Club, Greenwich Village, New York City. And then we got Andrew Mortenstein on the drums. It's a new wave of jazz coming in. I like it, man. I like it. Cosmic One, my brother. Shout out to you, man. Peace. I'm gonna have to cut down that volume. I don't want it obstructing too much here. There we go. Is that okay? Can you still hear that? I got me some blueberry over here. A little in my airtight, light protected, a little bud of this blueberry here. That beautiful little pine cone. Just enjoying that on a Friday evening. Digging on the jazz. And I wanted to talk about some of the great fights. You call them fantasy fights today. And they were never a reality, but a lot of these fights, they happened at the amateur level. They happened in gymnasiums and sparring sessions. And I'm fortunate enough to have dug up a few of these tapes in here tonight. You get the head right over here. Kazi, I got that in the email, bro. It should be getting at you. I thought this was supposed to be instantaneous. Very, very tasty. If you're creative enough, you can taste the blueberries in there. Make sure you have a lot of water in your diet. I really, really recommend one of the top supplements you can put in your body is water. Not coffee, not beer, not wine, not a highball, a gin and tonic, a rum coke, whatever, bro. Drink a lot of water. Water is very important. Water is extremely important. Think about it in terms of how many quarts you drink, not how many glasses you drink. You slam that water down. For sure, man, for sure. I got some Green Dragon tonight too, man. The Green Dragon tincture, the next level in fine weed. I tested this stuff out, this batch that I made. I got the Tech 2. It checks for the how many milligrams of THC per milliliter. This stuff tested out at almost 50 milligrams per milliliter. That's strong. If you do edibles, you'll know what a 100 milligram edibles is. 2 squirts of this is equivalent of a 100 milligram edible. I'm gonna have to keep my mouth shut for 30 seconds here. These cats are kicking in that hard style, almost that John Coltrane style. Piano sounds a little bit like McCoy Tyner. And they are definitely trying to duplicate the jazz classical giants. It sounds like a mid-60s John Coltrane version there. Nothing quite like jazz, man. Nothing quite like jazz and boxing and weed. They all fit in together. And like I said today, man, I want to go back to watch some fights that we talk about, we fantasize about. We're gonna talk about the Lennox Lewis Riddick Bowe fight that never was. We're gonna talk about the Gerald McClellan and Thomas Hearns fight that never was. The Mike McCallum fight with Thomas Hearns. The infamous James Toney and Gerald McClellan battle. Celtic, salute my brother. I mean, these are fights that happened in the gymnasium. Never really made it to fruition, becoming professional fights. And Aaron Pryor, he was a cat who started off as a lightweight. He went as far as an alternative on the United States Olympic team. Got beat by Howard Davis Jr. In fact, Thomas Hearns got beat in the amateurs by Howard Davis Jr. Probably one of the most celebrated amateur boxers that the United States has ever known. But Aaron Pryor, he was a crazy cat, man. You know, drugs were his downfall. But a young Aaron Pryor, man, was something to behold. Well, man, you know, that's you can opinionate on those. You can opinionate on those fighters and rate them as high or low as you like, man. You know, you can you go to the International Boxing Hall of Fame or do some research, and if you saw them when you were growing up, I don't know how old you are, Celtic, but man, Thomas Hearns was a freak. He was knocking everybody out at welterweight. You know, he ran into Sugar Ray Leonard. They were both 23 and 25. They were fucking kids. And I mean, dude, he was the first boxer in history to win 5 world titles. I mean, dude, you know, you can rate him as high or as low as you like. Alexis Rob, look at this cat over here, man. He's playing with me. That's okay, man. That's okay. I'm gonna get myself good and stoned before I show this first fight that I found on going online the other day, man. This was the Thomas Hearns and the Aaron Pryor. They fought in the it might have been the USA's. I'm not sure. We're gonna bring it up, but it was in 1976. It was March 27th, and we can just see the style that Pryor brought into the professionals. How he's a he was born in 55. In 76, he was what, 21 years old, maybe, if his birthday was on that day. Let me see if I can find this fight. That Matt Weisenkopf, he's quite the sax player. Let me turn just catch a little bit of that tenor saxophone. He's got that classic, the Charlie Parker. You got a little bit of Coltrane in there. That's the thing about jazz. I don't follow the current jazz scene. I love jazz music, but as far as buying the CDs and getting albums, man, I got 3,000 jazz albums on vinyl. That used to be my thing. But now with the internet and with YouTube, you can listen to anything you want, anytime you want. I pop those earbuds in. I just bop around as high as I want out there. I am not mad at anybody. A car could hit me and I just say, watch yourself next time. You know, I mean, that's the kind of an attitude that I have when I put some heavy jazz on, turn it up to full volume, get a good buzz going on, and hit Mother Nature out there. Anyway, let's bring up this fight. Let's see what it's all about here, man. £132 lightweights. Sorry about that. And you can look at Pryor. Look at that, doing that herky-jerky shit in the corner. That's what Aaron Pryor did. That was his boxing career, man. He was up and down and all over the place like that. And Thomas Hearns, a freak of nature, man. He's got Emmanuel Stewart in there. And you got to remember, Thomas Hearns is an amateur. He was 155 wins and 8 knockouts. And you know what a killer puncher Thomas Hearns is? He only had 9 knockouts as an amateur. He didn't come into punching until he was into his pros. And then he had a shotgun in that right hand. I see my brother L-Dub in here. PGH Big Dog, shout out to you, man. Johnny Tapia and Mark Johnny. I'm not familiar with Mark Johnny. But look at Thomas Hearns. Look at the freaky style, pushing that jab out there. But Aaron Pryor, strong. And he's got that herky-jerky, unconventional, trying to get inside. But he's got a hell of a reach, and he's got a swooping right hand. And look at Thomas Hearns is already respecting that. I mean, this is when these two guys were like not even in their prime, not even pros yet. Oh, look at Aaron Pryor, man. Doesn't take a backward step. Takes every fight like it's personal. You know, Thomas Hearns, freakish for a lightweight. Mark Johnson, there we go. Too sharp. You know, L-Dub, I would never say that Mark Johnny is not a fighter, because, man, L-Dub can pull stuff out of his repertoire of boxing knowledge that humbles me. So I'm glad you stopped in here. You class up the joint. When I go to your webpage, my boxing IQ goes up a point for the day. So shout out to L-Dub out there, man. Anybody listening to me is not sub to L-Dub, man, then you don't belong in here, bro. L-Dub, that's the index, bro. That's the Rolodex. But look at Aaron Pryor walking Thomas Hearns down. And see, Aaron Pryor, his career was kind of in limbo. He couldn't get a lightweight title fight, so he went to junior welterweight. He won the title there. He had all the money fights at welterweight. He had Thomas Hearns up there. He had Roberto Duran. He had Sugar Ray Leonard. But he chose to stay at 140. He made his biggest purse when he fought Aaron Pryor in the rematch. He made $2.5 million. But think of the money he could have made fighting Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns as a pro, and him and Roberto Duran. The fight was kind of signed, but he backed out of it. He didn't want to go with those big boys. 86 boxing, my brother, another historian out there, rolling with the punches, my brother, rolling. Shout out to you, Roland. Good to see you in here, bro. Good to see you out there, man. Always nice to see you. And look at, man, I tell you, all action. Look at this fight. These guys are just throwing hands. Thomas Hearns, he doesn't have the leverage yet in his punches. He doesn't have that knockout, that snap yet. Like, imagine Pryor and Duran. That would have been a great fight at 147. Thing with Aaron Pryor, perpetual motion, just always moving those hands, kind of like a Hank Armstrong, like a Henry Armstrong, those windmill punches. Look, dude, if they had punch stats here, I can only imagine what the number of punches thrown in here. And Pryor, whoa, did you see that freaking lead left hook he just threw? Standing 8 count to Thomas Hearns. Whoa. I didn't watch this fight. I just found this fight yesterday and decided to throw this show together. So I'm digging on this as much as you cats are. Whoa. Look at Aaron Pryor going in for the kill over here. Damn. Just an incredible action. Like I said, Aaron and Thomas Hearns right now has just said, hey, fuck this, man. I'm letting my hands go. Carl, my bro, shout out to you, and I hope that buzz is traveling with you, my man, because mine is traveling with me, bro. Watching some classic old stuff that I'm really getting into, and I thank you cats for coming in here and getting the Friday night buzz cooking. A friend of mine, my best friend, he just got COVID, man. I thought those days were over, and this was Mr. Paranoia. He wore a mask all the time, mostly because he didn't want to put his false teeth in, but I didn't think, I thought he'd be, and he got all the vaccinations, all the boosters, all that. I stopped getting them after my first fucking booster. I said, fuck this, man. But anyway, I heard yesterday that he got it. I talked to him today, but I got something. I don't know what it is. Okay, whatever, man. But, I heard from somebody else who lives with you that what it was. And anyway, Pryor's in the corner after 2 rounds in this tremendous amateur fight. Was this Golden Gloves, AAU? I think Celtic said what it was. I think he mentioned it was a Golden Gloves fight. I'm not sure, man. All I know is look at Thomas Hearns. He looks like a baby. 132-pound lightweight class. You think this fight would have gone like this in the pros? Thomas Hearns, he was an amazing welterweight, but once he got beat by Leonard, he went up. Oh, is that another knockdown or is that a slip? Dude, Aaron Pryor's so unconventional, punching from so many different angles. You blink and he could have thrown a. Oh, look at that fucking overhand right, man. Aaron Pryor is just incredible. This is a precursor of things to come. And he's almost using Thomas Hearns like he used Lennox Blackmore, who was a fighter that he fought earlier in his career. I think he won his title off Lennox Blackmore. Thomas Hearns holding on, man. Aaron Pryor's getting stronger and freakier. I don't know if he was doing any shit then. I don't know, man. I can't say yes, I can't say no. But I'll tell you, he was just he just had amazing stamina. You can see Thomas Hearns is sucking it. Thomas Hearns is holding on. Pryor, he's ready to go. He's chopping down a tree, man. Atta boy, Carl. You work on Saturdays over there, man? Oh, Thomas Hearns just tried to drop that right-hand bomb, but he does not throw that. Oh, here he goes. He's 1-2, 1-2. He's trying to throw some sloppy pit-a-pat punches. Hey, Smoke Session, salute my brother. Thank you for coming in here, man. Welcome to some classic boxing. I'm playing some fights that never were. Let me wrench you up, bro. Everybody in here deserves one. I see you around. Part of the loyal crew. I don't want nobody timing you out, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you cats who come in here and support me. On a Friday night, man, prime time shit. I'm lucky as hell I got a half dozen people in here. And see a little slow motion action. Boom, Thomas Hearns. Thomas Hearns just knocked the spit out of Aaron Pryor with that right hand, man. But he just does not have the leverage on it. He does not have what he has on it as a pro. And Aaron Pryor, the champions. Beautiful looking stuff, man. But that's a fight that we, like I said, man, Hearns Pryor, he could have jumped up to 147. Would have been an amazing array of fighters that he could have fought. You know, we speak on his legendary Alexis Aguayo fight. I say fight because it is really one fight. The second fight, anticlimactic. Aguayo did land an amazing uppercut in the second round, but we knew this was, nah, bro, this is no education. This is just fun, man. You know, I'm lucky that I can remember some of these things, bro. You know, you got the guys like Scrapbook on here. You got the boxing historian, not the boxing historian, the boxing librarian. The historian knows his shit too. He's a sharp-witted young man. I like the dude. But there are some real teachers on here. You know, me, I'm just having a good time, bro, and I appreciate that. But let's see, what's the next fight that I want to speak of that didn't happen. And as a matter of fact, I had the dude in here the other night, bro. Let me see if I can pull up the fight. We're gonna feature Thomas Hearns again in here, man. I had Mike McCallum on here the other night. If you haven't seen it, go back and play it back. I could use the views and now that is an education, bro. The body snatcher Mike McCallum. He came and he talked to me for about an hour. And bro, you know, first time I met the dude, I talked to him a little bit, but he's a pretty tight guy. He's a Jamaican, and you can tell you can tell he's leery. He's been beat before. He didn't want to be beat again. You know, he don't know if anybody's out there looking for money, looking to make some money off him. So he was pretty tight at first, but we talked a little bit, man. He realized how much I loved his boxing career, how much I respected it, and we talked about why he didn't get the fights with Roberto Duran and Lennon and Hearns and all those dudes at 160, 154, even the Donald Currys he did get the Donald Curry. That was one of the most dramatic knockouts you'll ever see. The left hook from hell. He starches Donald Curry. But anyway, he was telling us that this is one of the reasons I went and found this. He said, I boxed with Hearns in the gym. I trained with Emmanuel Stewart, and he trained with everybody, man. He trained with Georgie Benton, man. He trained with Lou Duva. He mentioned the trainers that he had, and one of the trainers that he had was Emmanuel Stewart. He was there at the same time when Thomas Hearns had the 154-pound WBA DC title, BA. I don't know, but they were both champions, both contenders. He was supposed to get Roberto Duran. Somehow, a deal was made behind his back. So once again, I can show you how leery that he is. And he freaking he lost out on the Roberto Duran fight. Thomas Hearns got the fight instead. But anyway, this is the body snatcher. This is him in the ring with Thomas Hearns, man. So this is very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Looks like Mike McCallum is the dude with the red trunks on. No, McCallum has got the black trunks on. That's Thomas Hearns with the red trunks on. You can tell by that shoulder movement. It's hard to tell. And in fact, there's his name on the back. Okay, so Mike McCallum with the dark trunks and Thomas Hearns with the red trunks. So man, you know, we're gonna see these guys. This is learning. This is going to school. Man, I don't know if you cats can remember, but I did twice when I was in college. I worked twice as hard in my classroom. When I got into the real world, I was just kind of going through the motions. That's a whole fucking other story. But anyway, man, we're watching two craftsmen in here. This is like Emmanuel Stewart. He said he didn't like to put two Cadillacs in the demolition derby, but this was one of those times. I don't know if Emmanuel is still. It's when he left Kronk. I heard when Emmanuel would take a break. They put these two killers in there. And we're going to see Gerald McClellan and James Toney coming up too. So you guys we're in for a treat here, man. And I'm enjoying this as much as you. digging on the Walt Weiskopf quartet in the background, some nouveau jazz, classic jazz by Millennium jazz players. I hear you, man. You know, I was self-employed and I was in the restaurant business, man. Sundays, Saturdays, holidays, it didn't fucking matter. When I was a kid, I grew up in the restaurant business and I didn't even like 4th of July. Mother's and Father's Day, I hated them. All we did was work from sun up to sundown. Marcus Robinson, thank you for coming by, brother. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you for coming in here. I don't think I've seen you here before, but I hope to see you in here in the future. But let's pay attention to this, man, if we can. Let me Thomas Hearns is trying to use his height advantage. Thomas has learned a little bit since the amateurs, and Thomas has got this amazing punching power now. So we're going to watch Thomas Hearns with that, especially that right hand. With the body snatcher, Mike McCallum going downstairs to the body, always behind that strong left jab. He's got that right hand cocked. He's ready to deliver it. I mean, Mike McCallum, both of these two guys. This is the International Boxing Hall of Fame in the ring with each other. You don't see this too often. A dude like the boxing librarian, I don't know if he's seen this before. He probably has, but this, like I said, man, this is where, like the late great Emmanuel Stewart used to say. Appreciate you here, brother. You know, this is kind of what I grew up with in boxing. I know this a little bit more than I know today's boxing. I love boxing today. I can't wait till next weekend for the heavyweights to get together. I mean, tomorrow there's not much on. There's some fights on tonight, but over here I get in my groove. I kick back. This is like just fucking putting the feet up, firing up the Toka 2, and watching. I haven't watched these yet. That's why I'm watching them with you guys. I wanted to share these classic sparring sessions, because these guys, this as a sparring, they say, sparring's not like regular fighting, man. When you got a couple of fucking Cadillac Coupe de Villes right off the assembly line in Detroit right here. This is Detroit muscle. This is I'm not going to say this is full contact, but if you fuck up, if you let your guard down, you could easily go to sleep here. Look at McCallum just trying to throw that right hand over Thomas Hearns' lazy left. I mean, there is absolutely no room for slacking in here. And both of these guys are getting a tremendous education, and they know it, man. Thomas Hearns doing a lot of moving. He's got those skinny legs, man. It's amazing how much power that he can generate off that skinny frame. But man, he just did kind of like a Bob Foster. It's just a freaky physique, and it'll put you to sleep. But Mike McCallum, he's hearing none of that. This would have been a great fight as professionals, and I almost think that they're maybe calculating each other to get in the pro ranks. Thomas Hearns trying to throw out that jab to measure him, keeping that left out there, which is illegal. But there's no referee in here. You probably got some coaches on each side of the ring calling the time, keeping the time. I don't know how long they're going, man. All I know is it's a pleasure to watch this, man. And McCallum, champion at 154, champion at 160, champion at 175. Did he go super middleweight? I'm not sure. I don't think he did, man. Wow, look at man. Thomas Hearns is trying to get set and throw his combinations, but Mike McCallum is such a great defensive fighter. Hearns can't find anything. And they are absolutely pushing the limits here. Both with headgear on, big gloves. I'm gonna say 12-ounce gloves. Okay, I gotta get that off there so I don't get too much trouble here, man. But that was the Iceman, my brother, shout out to you, man. Thank you for coming by, my brother. Just digging on some jazz, smoking some good bud, and I'm going back and watching some incredible sparring sessions, some fights that never were, and they just so happen to throw these babies up. To throw these babies up in the let me see if I can find the one I'm looking for here. Here we go. This one is going to be interesting, man. This is two fighters, an incredibly tragic story of one fighter. I mean, it's funny too because the fighters I've been showing, I know I've spoken to James Toney. I did an interview with him on Major Keys about a year ago. And McCallum, I just spoke to. We're going to watch Gerald McClellan, who, sad tragedy. I mean, he lived a violent life involved in dog fighting, but he was a killer of a boxer, was knocking out everybody. But he had some, in hindsight, some of his sparring partners, one in particular, said he had the neurological problems back then. But anyway, he got in a tragic fight with Nigel Benn. He was in a coma after the fight. He never came out of it. He needs care. He's still alive today. This fight was 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. He's being taken care of by his sister Lisa. There's an organization called Ring 10 out there, man. Anybody wants to help them out, man. They help out fighters like Gerald McClellan. And Gerald, man, it's a sad story. Is on is pretty much on welfare. I mean, he's just it's a sad thing to see. You can see documentaries about him, specials about him. I can't even watch that fight again that he had with Nigel Benn. But man, when he was at the Kronk gym and James Toney was there and Gerald McClellan, he was one of the dudes who said when Emmanuel Stewart stepped out and we put the Porsches head to head. I was over there at the Looney Tunes site today, but I stopped in, gave him a thumbs up. Hey man, he's a special individual. I have love for everybody, every creature on the face of this earth. I stop in, give him a thumbs up. It ain't my thing. I didn't stay there for long. I don't even think I said two things in the chat, but hey, God bless him, nice man, huh? Let me do another hit on this blueberry. Bring this fight up, man. And Emmanuel Stewart, bro. What a gem to be able to have watched in boxing. I mean, he had so many. He had the heavyweights. He had Lennox Lewis, man. He had Klitschko. I mean, his crowning jewel, Thomas Hearns. But before that, he had guys like Helmer Kenty. Oh, the Kronk stable is immense. Milton McCrory, Don Lee. I mean, if I start thinking of the names of these fighters, man, and think about some of the great fights they had, yeah, baby. Detroit was a hell of a fight town back in the day. In fact, that's where Joe Louis came from. So, shout out to Detroit. And James Toney, man. The first time I saw James Toney, I was watching I had the black box. I was watching the Michael Nunn and James Toney fight on pay-per-view. I can't remember the fight that preceded that, but I was trolling on the cable TV, just cable surfing, they used to call it. And I was like, whoa, we got boxing over here. And it was a new pay-per-view service that was going on. It was called Knockout TV, KOTV. It was once a month, and this was their fight of the month. I didn't even know it was coming on. And James Toney, I read about him in the boxing magazines. Tyrese, my brother, shout out to you, man. Peace. I didn't. Let me fix you up, Tyrese. There we go, man. make sure we have my make sure we have you cats moderated up as you come in here, because I appreciate you coming here, man. On Friday night, fucking lucky. I'm surprised I'm not here by myself. But anyway, man, I want to bring up this fight. It's the same for Pritchard Cologne. Horrible story in his career. I watched that fight live. Oh, Pritchard and Cologne. Now I don't know the fight, but boxing's a tragic game. You know, boxing is a tragic game. But man, Gerald McClellan, unbelievable. You gotta go watch his fight against Julian Jackson. That was just an amazing fight. He was born in 1967, so right now he's only 55 years old. He's been in the he's been paralyzed. His sister says he can't hear, but he gets mixed up. And I mean, to watch the special with him and Nigel Benn, when Nigel Benn went back there to see him, man, you know, if that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, man, then you're made out of stone. But James Toney and Gerald McClellan, that would have been an amazing fight. James Toney, so much talent, trained by the old school trainer, trained by Bill Pops Miller, Georgie Benton protege. I mean, just a classic Philadelphia fighter, and the devastating Gerald McClellan. Let's watch these two guys spar, man. Let me bring that up. We can speak on this as it's happening. There we go, man. They're in Kronk right now. James Toney in the white shirt. Gerald McClellan with that gold Kronk tank on. You're gonna see. You can't hit James Toney. Talk about a shoulder roll, man. Talk about the Philly shell. James Toney was a master there. Hey, if he can pass a drug test, man, they don't have standardized punishments out there. So I don't know what the deal was. In fact, I think they even threw it out of court, man, or whatever they do with these Mickey Mouse drug testing organizations. But hey, if they let him back in and he passed the drug test, he's got some great stock that he comes from, and let's check him out. And damn, fucking James Toney taking those body punches and coming back with a flurry. Gerald McClellan is a guy who he was tough to spar with. Reading about some of his sparring partners, they didn't want to spar in the ring with him because he just wouldn't let up. He took the game very seriously. I can't read that little fine print there, but they're speaking his accolades there. See, I could. Too late now. But anyway, get back to the action here. You can see these guys don't need a referee to separate them. They're total professionals. James Toney cutting the ring off, going downstairs to the body, trying to put McClellan in the corner. McClellan spins off, pushing Toney away. And people don't realize how what a puncher McClellan was. A lot of 34 fights, man, 31 victories, 21 by knockout. 31 by knockout, I'm sorry. Only four of his opponents. JC, my brother, salute, man. Peace to you, my man. Thanks for stopping by. We're watching the Body Snatcher and fucking Lights Out Tony in the ring as amateurs at the Kronk Gym. McClellan looked like he was complaining about his headgear. But look at these guys, man. They don't need a referee to break them apart. And it looks like everybody in that gym, they get their eyes in the ring. Instead of paying attention to their workouts, guys skipping rope look like they're facing the ring. Oh, James Toney, what defense? Got out of the way of that combination. And this is a 160-pound version of James Toney. James Toney loved to eat, liked the PEDs from what I understand. I mean, he was the dude boxed, and let's see, he was a middleweight, and he went all the way up to heavyweight. So he boxed in a 50-pound range. And James Toney, he was one of those kind of guys where he could add 5 pounds of fat on there, like Roberto Duran. He didn't have to just add the muscle or go into the weight. He could eat his way into the weight. And you see him now. But I mean, James Toney, I loved when I was talking to him, when I was interviewing him. What a cool dude he was, and he was fucking cracking jokes and everything. He was just a funny guy. And this is in 1990. So this is this is right before Tony won the IBF middleweight championship. Let me look it up and see here. Hang on, I'll be right back. I'll be right here. Just gonna be on this other one over here. And what a long career James Toney has. I'm going through his career now. And he fought Mike McCallum 3 times too, so man, just shows you how the paths cross for these cats. Man, I'm just looking at the who's who, the Iran Barclays, the Mike McCallums, Dave Tiberi, Glenn Wolfs, Reggie Johnson, Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn was in 91, so this was a year before. A year before he fought Michael Nunn. But James Toney is still, hey, Heavy Leather, my brother, Two Matador, Picasso. You guys snuck in here and I had my head down. Thank you so much for coming by here, man, all 3 of you, man. Not a problem, Heavy Leather. I'll hit me up at BruceGas@gmail. It's well, wait a minute. Maybe I'm better off hitting you up because I couldn't get my name in my email. I couldn't even get BruceGas, so I had to put "it's" before it. But There's my email, bro. That's that should get you to me, and I'll be on the lookout for it, man. But yeah, baby, getting back to the business at hand, man. We're watching a nice clip of a fight that could have been, and you know, unfortunately, like I said, man, the damage that happened to Gerald McClellan in his last fight, or maybe before that last fight, we never got to see the best of him. But man, look at James Toney. Just I mean, I watched that, and I just watch how he can move that head, move that whole body, stay away from the damage of Gerald McClellan, who, and both of these guys, they're not even they're young in their careers. And James Toney, he can switch from offense to defense at the blink of an eye. Great stuff there, man. Great stuff. Yeah, they are watching and learning. I think both of these guys took a lot out of this sparring session. James Toney, he's an amazing fighter to watch at 160 pounds. It's just a thing of beauty. And Gerald McClellan just constantly coming forward with his hands up, throwing bombs with both hands, knocking out everybody that he was facing back then. And McClellan gets him in the corner. And that was the cool shit there, man. Unbelievable. Can you imagine that heavy leather hanging out at Kronk back then? But you know, this is another fight that I want to show. And this is another dude that I talked to on the reg too, man. Fucking Big Daddy Bowe. Totally fucking cool shit, man. And it was his birthday the other day. I sent him a text for his birthday. You know, just to let him know that BruceGas remembers him. And one of the biggest fights we wanted to see that never happened was the Lennox Lewis Riddick Bowe fight. And like the Deontay Wilder and the Anthony Joshua fight. Joshua, don't go get another tune-up. We've been waiting for years to see this fight. Mr. P, salute my brother. Don't go get another tune-up. You know what can happen in another tune-up? You could get knocked out. You could look bad. They're going to tell you need another tune-up. You still can't handle it. Get in the ring and fight each other. Answer the questions. Do it now. The money's there. The Saudis want to shell up for this fight, man. I got so many people that are talking about this fight, and I'm going to be looking forward to digging on this fight. I really my idea on that is get in there and fight. I don't know who's going to win the fight. Deontay Wilder is the biggest action he had in the last almost a year was the one-round knockout. The one-round knockout of fucking Helenius. And before that, he's coming off of 2 losses. So how can we? The Bud Files, salute my family. How are you doing out there, man? Checking out your show today. Checking out other shows today, man. That's all I do. I hang around on YouTube most of the time. Watch a lot of weird stuff. A lot of crime stuff. And a lot of boxing stuff. But yeah, man, we all know the story about Riddick Bowe throwing the title in the garbage. Big press conference. He didn't want to fight Riddick Bowe, #1 contender. He didn't want to fight Lennox Lewis, the WBC's #1 contender. He wanted the fight to marinate more. His manager, Rock Newman, had this idea, and the fight, it did marinate. It got to the point where they had actually signed for this fight to the tune of something like a 17 million and 11 million. I think Bowe was making the big end of it. I can't remember what the cuts were. My brother Curtis Anderson explained this one to me. But what happened was a guy named Oliver McCall got in the way and knocked out Lennox Lewis. And they were going to do it again, but Riddick Bowe ran into a guy named Andrew Galata. So the thing is, anything can happen in boxing. But these two guys, see if I can find them in here.
Heavyweight gold medal final.
I think that might be it. Yes, it is, man. They did get together. They got together at the Olympics, 1988. And fortunate enough to have that. The band is introducing the band here.
So great to have you all here down at the best jazz club in the city, Smalls Jazz Club.
Smalls Jazz Club, man. Taking on the Walt Weisenkopf quartet in the background. I'm going to bring up Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis because this was the fight that we wanted to see as professionals, just like every fight that we brought up here tonight. But like the rest of them, we didn't see it. Riddick Big Daddy Bowe, Lennox Lewis, man. It was a shame for both of their careers, man. It's almost like it makes us appreciate the fact that Bud Crawford and Errol Spence got together a couple of weeks ago. We saw that. I was fortunate enough to see fights like Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, the fights that they were the for the undisputed, which is what boxing is all about, man. You know, the best in your weight division. And these two, they could have done it in the heavyweight division. So there was always that who was better. Eventually, people said that Lennox Lewis was better simply because of the longevity of the title defenses. But when these guys got in the ring, anything could happen. Probably would. Probably will. Let's check them out, man. Let's check them out. Lennox Lewis representing Canada. Riddick Bowe representing the United States. Here we are, man. This is Olympic boxing, 1988 Olympics. I remember watching this in the afternoon, man. I was a bartender at this place in Riverside, Rhode Island called Canopies. It was an awesome bar, amazing, good memories but bad memories. But anyway, they didn't want to put boxing on, and I'm telling them, this is the Olympics, man. How un-American are you cats? You don't want to put boxing, and they have to bother saying to the owner, yeah, put boxing on, put boxing on. Anyway, ended up putting it on, and we got to see this fight. You can see neither one of these guys have totally filled their frames out yet. What was their weight in here? I'm sure we can Google that in a second if we wanted to. But as you can see, Big Daddy Bowe is 300 pounds today, 300 plus. I met Big Daddy Bowe. And big man, people say that he's punch drunk and he's slurring. No way, man. He speaks in a monotone, very quiet. He doesn't stutter his words. Riddick Bowe has got his marbles. And he's a cool dude, man. It was an honor to meet him, an honor to speak to him on the phone when I do. And he just came out with a book. It's called Big Daddy Forever. You can get it at Amazon. I'm sure if you get it, hook up with me. I'll hook up with him. We can get it autographed for you. But I mean, there we go, man. Look at Riddick Bowe with the body shot, with the uppercuts. Oh, tremendous attack by Bowe. Referee pulling him apart. Wow. Almost a portent of what we would have seen when they were professionals. This is the super heavyweight division in the 1988 Olympics. They wanted Bowe for using his head, putting his head in there a little too much. Lennox Lewis, what a professional he was, man. The destruction of Tommy Morrison, of Razor Ruddock. I mean, he was an amazing fighter. The Mike Tyson fight, that wasn't the real Mike Tyson in there. Mike Tyson was going through the motions. It was almost a symbolic passing of the torch kind of a fight. But Lennox Lewis was a great heavyweight, man, one of the greatest heavyweights of his day. How he would have scored with the likes of Ali and Joe Louis, Larry Holmes, who knows, man? He outdueled Evander Holyfield twice. Once was a draw, but Lennox had Holyfield's number. And here he is with another legend right now, Riddick Bowe, Big Daddy Bowe. This is a medal round in the 1988 Olympics was it Beijing? I'm not even sure, man. Oh, standing 8 count for Riddick Bowe. Standing 8 count for Lennox Lewis on Riddick Bowe. And Lennox is going for the finish. Bowe survives to the end of the round. And you've got Papa Smurf, Eddie Futch in his corner. Standing 8 count, courtesy of an overhand right. And this is the beginning of the second round coming up. A fight we wanted to see as professionals, but we're getting to see as we saw it as amateurs. And see, this was on NBC Sports. This was at the Olympics. Another standing 8 count for Bowe. Lennox Lewis has got Riddick Bowe in all kind of trouble. Dropping the combinations on him. Riddick Bowe trying to get his headgear. Oh, beautiful overhand right. Another standing 8 count. And that's it. He stops the fight. The fight is over. Or is it a standing 8 count? No, I think he stopped the fight. Wow. TKO, the three standing 8 counts. Should the fight have been stopped? I don't know. No. I'm not going to say I don't know. I'm going to say no, bro. That was a premature stoppage. The Olympic judge jumped the decision. The young Riddick Big Daddy Bowe, disappointed. All eyes are on the referee.
But the punch was particularly effective. On the other hand, he was being thrashed pretty good, and it's a judgment call on the part of the referee, Gustav Baumgart. I did not see any great dissatisfaction from Riddick Bowe's corner. Ken Adams seemed to accept it. The stoppage coming at 43 seconds of round number 2. No argument from Riddick Bowe as he stopped by Lennox Lewis. He did take a pounding, and Baumgart decided That is it. Now, the stoppages in the heavier ranks have come very quickly, as we have seen.
That, my man, is Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis.
And I don't hesitate to give credit to the referee. He's in there with the boxer. He knows what's happening to his condition, his eyes, and so forth. We don't.
Stopped him.
So let's give him the benefit of the doubt. But
in the second round, it was a cool fight to watch, man. And once again, that was the Lennox got the gold medal. Riddick got the silver medal. And Alexander, I didn't catch his name, got the bronze medal. There are actually 2 bronze medals in the Olympics. I didn't catch either one of them. Riddick Bowe, let's see, listen up.
Resistance. So were you surprised that the referee stepped in at that point?
Precisely, because I really wasn't. He gave me a good 2 shots, I got to admit. But I was okay. Clearly, I was even talking to him.
It's the end of the fight. We're going to take a look at it now. Tell me what's happening.
Well, he didn't really good right hand.
How badly are you hurt here?
Well, I was shaking up pretty much, but I didn't think it was enough for him to stop the fight. Because I've seen guys get practically killed in the ring. You know, take Todd Porter, for instance. He had a pretty hard fight. He was bleeding and what have you. And he got dropped. The rest didn't stop his fight.
And yet you didn't protest very much when the fight was stopped. Why was that?
Well, I started to, but I said to myself, what sense is it make? And then the coaches told me to be cool, so I guess I had to leave it at that.
Riddick, you've had kind of an up and down Olympics. There have been times when you've looked lethargic and other times when you've looked pretty explosive. Overall, are you disappointed with what you've done here?
No, not at all, especially in the last fight, because I was just really getting into the groove of things, and I really wanted to show Dr. Freddie Pacheco that my head really wasn't in the clouds.
What will you do about turning pro?
Well, I'm contemplating with myself, and that's what's just going to happen from now on.
Okay, Riddick Bowe, a knockout victim here in the second round of the super heavyweight final. Now
interesting. Interesting stuff, man. Make sure I don't. I gotta see. I need an engineer here so I can successfully do these things without getting myself in a pickle. But that was those were 4 fights that we wanted to see back in the 90s. We didn't get to see them as professionals, but we did get to see them scrapping it up in the gym. What happened to the band? I didn't tell them they could take a break. Let me go back to Smalls and see what's going on here, man. Yeah, these guys are there. There we go. There's no break time now, man. No break time now. We did our hour here. I just wanted to get into these fights. Just want to rack up a few more YouTube hours so I can get the monetization if that happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But my wife's getting on my case there. So I'm going to do my best to do more shows on here. And as long as I got the weed, a couple of people listening to it with me, always keep the water nearby. The Toka 2. What do you think of the Alicia Baumgartner thing going on, man? Anybody paying attention to that? Because see, I had years ago I had a street PhD in PEDs, so it kind of interested me when I saw what she was caught with. Hey, my brother Lars, bro, how you doing, man? Always a pleasure to see you, man. You know, the steroids were Mestalone and Primobolan. Primo it was called, man. And both of these they're water based and they're very mild anabolic agents. They're not the kind that have the masculine traits. Like they don't give you the Adam's apple, the loss of hair, the masculine voice. You know, they're steroids that back in the day when I was in the game. Son of God, salute, man, peace. When I was in the game, these are the ones that the women took, the crazy women who were bodybuilding. You know, they would want the mild steroids to get the full muscles without the masculine signs. And then when I saw Primo in there, I'm like, holy shit, man. There might be something to this shit. You know, they wouldn't just put like a testosterone or a Diana ball or a Winstrol. There was something that women prefer, which is a crazy sign. And then we just had in fact, Lars was talking about it on his fine broadcast today, man. We just had Dillian White within a week of the fight got cancer because they found what I understand is they found this was a newer drug, and this is something that's a precursor to EPO to give you more energy, to get more red blood cells in your system. So Dillian White, he must be hanging with Memo or one of these designer chemists out there who can get him something good that's maybe flies under the wings. Because see, these testing agencies, it's like a cat and mouse game. When I was in the business, we used to sell this shit called pro hormones. And what they did was they take the actual steroid, and they gave these things steroid names too. They call them Winstrol, Winnie V. They call them Primo. They call them Tren. And they'd be on the shelves, and they'd have almost the same chemical compound as the Trembolin did, but they'd move a few molecules, and it would become legal, and they call these precursors. Peter Von Ox, my brother, shout out to you, man. And they call these precursors, and and they sound to anybody. And I see these kids, man, these young kids in the gym taking these things by the handfuls. The Lord knows what their liver looks like today, what their kidneys look like. But I watch them, all of a sudden they're becoming little gorillas before my eyes. And they're telling me, oh, this shit works, man, this shit works. And it was fucking, it was enlightening because this is the extent. People don't really care about the consequences. The only consequence they care about is getting caught and getting suspended. But as far as the consequences on the body, I don't think too many of these cats who use PEDs really have that much of a care of what's going on unless they do it at a level where you're doing a pre-cycle, where you're doing a post-cycle, which is extremely important. This might be a reason why these fighters fight so infrequently. Maybe it's so they can get off cycle, because you take this, like the clomidine, the clomid form, whatever they call it. I used to just call it clomid, and it's an estrogen blocker, and it can be used as a fertility drug, or they give it to women with breast cancer. But it works on a hormonal level, and that's what all these things do, man. And what they really do is they synthesize protein into muscle. The speed is endurance. You can get that through doing the EPO, doing blood doping. But the bottom line with all anabolic steroids, the key is testosterone. The body produces testosterone naturally. These things force it to produce more. Or you can you can inject testosterone directly into your body. But the supplement business is crazy. There was so many. It was all nutritional supplements are geared to mimic anabolic steroids. You see that the ones like creatine, that's 100% legal now. Back when that first came out, people behind the counter were selling that with a wink. It was in a gray area. The FDA didn't know whether to allow it to be used or to call it an anabolic steroid or call it a class 3. So that's another thing you do with these pro hormones. I was selling these in my store, and then all of a sudden, the FDA says that these are no longer nutritional supplements. These are now controlled narcotics, controlled drugs. They're class 3 pharmaceuticals. I had to take them all off my shelf. I've got thousands of dollars invested in these, but these people wanted them. So once again, man, I broke the law. People would come in, and the companies put out the legal versions, which were garbage, which were proteins and yam, things like tribulus, DHEA. They tried to make it new and improved, but they couldn't use the pro-hormone drug that they work so hard to move the molecules and turn them into steroid precursors. So I would sell those under the counter. These guys would come in, oh, come on, I'll give you $100 for a bottle. You got it in the back. I'd say, come in tomorrow, or if I knew you, yeah, you got it, boom. But anyway, I got rid of my stock, but I actually got letters from the NCAA that it was illegal to sell these, because I have a university down the street, Roger Williams University. A lot of the wrestlers came in and bought these, a lot of football players, and I actually got letters that would not accuse me, not threaten me, but just tell me the consequences if I did sell these products. And they went right through them. The government got big on this. They had every fucking pro-hormone, every steroid, everything that people were selling legally. They had it marked for non-sale, no sale anymore. But anyway, yeah, steroids are cheating, man. There's no need to take the things. But see, you're talking to boxers today who are fighting infrequently. They're fighting for $1 million contracts. It's not like it was when I was a kid, bro. It's not like they want to fight 4 times a year. The WBA, they used to strip fighters for not fighting, for not defending their title twice a year. Fucking one of the guys we were just showing, man. Who the hell was it? Gerald McClellan. He had the WBA middleweight title, and he wanted to go to fight the 168 pounders. So he was stripped, or he gave it up, whatever. But back then they were stringent on that. They made sure you defended that title twice a year. Now, once a year, if that. So this gives these guys a chance to use the cycles, and they're playing for multi-million-dollar purses. What does Pigeon have to say about it? Creatine is useless. The only way to get stronger is to lift big. See, it's Pigeon. That's old school thinking. See, what you have to understand is the kinesiology of muscles. Muscles break down and they rebuild. They break down and they rebuild. If you don't have proper rest and you're not taking proper nourishment, then you're going to do what people refer to as overtraining. Your muscles will cannibalize themselves. They'll break down. You'll be susceptible for injuries. You're doing the thing now, and that's cool, bro. But understand, recovery is key, and you're not on a professional level. You don't understand these fighters who are fighting for multi-million-dollar purses, where they're going to make sure that they're in the best possible shape, whether it can be chemically induced or put together in the gym. And they've got these strength and conditioning coaches who know how to go off cycle. You're not going to be detected. They know masking agents. So it's fucking crazy out there, bro. It's beyond your pay level. I'm sure you do recover excellently, but do your research, my friend. Do your research. Recreational lifting and professional boxing are kind of like being a guy who sells the milk and a guy who has to fucking work in the farm and milk the cows. You know what I'm saying, brah? But anyway, man, I would like to see fighters defend their titles more, be tested for drugs when you go do the VADA thing where it's 24/7, but do it legitimately. Let yourself be tested. Anyway, man, I did what I wanted to do on here. Showed the fights. Got a pretty good buzz on. Killed an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to check out of here with my boy 151. I call him 151, but his real name is Big Stepper. He wrote me my theme song. Shout out to Big Stepper.
Shout out BruceGas, aka Toka too. You know I had to drop a track for my boy.
Hey, where you at?
Yeah, been in harassing boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, BruceGas putting them fights on the table. Calling that Boston since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. On the people's champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out BruceGas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke a hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toka too. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the people. Little Glock by my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shout out Mad Chad, real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the pan. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sand. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like BruceGas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this the fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.